Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amdati Okofishola. Today I'm going to be reading to you the sixth law of boundaries, and I'm going to be reading from this book called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. So let's begin. But if I told him I wanted to do that, wouldn't he be hurt? Jason asked. When Jason told me he wished to assume responsibility for tax his business partner was performing poorly, I encouraged him to talk to his partner. Sure, he might be hurt, I said, in response to his question. So, what is your problem? Well, I wouldn't want to hurt him, Jason said, looking at me as though I should have known that. I'm sure you would not want to hurt him, I said, but what does that have to do with the decision that you have to make? Well, I couldn't just make a decision without taking his feelings into account. That would be cruel. I agree with that. That would be cruel. But when are you going to tell him? You just said that to tell him would hurt him, and that would be cruel, Jason said, perplexed. No, I didn't, I replied. And I said to tell him without considering his feelings would be cruel. That is very different from not doing what you need to do. I don't see any difference. It would still hurt him, but it would not harm him. And that's a big difference. If anything, the hurt would help him. Now I'm really confused. How can it possibly help to hurt him? Well, have you ever gone to the dentist? I asked. Sure. Did the dentist hurt you when he drilled your tooth to remove the cavity? Yes. Did he harm you? No. He made it better. It made me feel better. Hurt and harm are different, I pointed out. When you ate the sugar that gave you the cavity, did that hurt? No, it tasted good, he replied, with a smile that told me it was catching on. Did it harm you? No. He said yes. He said yes. I was like, that's my point. Things can hurt, but not harm us. In fact, they can even be good for us, and things that feel good can be very harmful to us. You need to evaluate the effect of setting boundaries and be responsible to the other person. But that does not mean that you should avoid setting boundaries because someone responds with hurt or anger. To have boundaries in this instance, Jason saying no to his partner is to live a purposeful life. Jesus refers to it as the narrow gate. It is always easier to go through the broad gate of destruction and continue to not set boundaries where we need to. But the result is always the same: destruction. Only the honest, purposeful life leads to good fruit. Deciding to set boundaries is difficult, but it requires decision making and confrontation, which in turn may cause pain to someone you love. We need to evaluate the pain caused by our making choices and emphasize with it. And empathize with it. We need to evaluate the pain caused by our making choices and empathize with it. Take Sandy, for example. Sandy chose to go skiing with friends instead of going home for Christmas vacation. Her mother was sad and disappointed, but she was not harmed. Sandy's decisions caused sadness, but her mother's sadness should not cause Sandy to change her mind. A loving response to her mother's hurt would be, "Oh, mom, I'm sad that we won't be together too. I'm looking forward to next summer's visit." If Sandy's mother's respected her freedom to make the choices, she would say something like this: "I'm so disappointed that you're not coming home for Christmas, but I hope you all have a great time." She would be owning her disappointment and respecting Sandy's choice to spend her time with friends. We cause pain by making choices for others. Um, we cause pain by making choices that others do not like. Okay, but we also cause pain by confronting people that they are wrong. So I'm going to say that again. We cause pain by making choices that others do not like, but also cause pain by confronting people when they are wrong. But if we do not share our anger with another, bitterness and hatred can set in. We need to be honest with one another about how we are hurt. Speak truthfully to your neighbor, for you are all members of one body. Ephesians 4:25. As iron sharpens iron, we need confrontation and truth from others to grow. No one likes to hear negative things about him or herself, but in the long run, it may be good for us. The Bible says that if we are wise, we will learn from it. Admonition from a friend, while it can hurt, can also help. We need to evaluate the pain our confrontation causes other people. We need to see how this hurt is helpful to others. And sometimes the best thing that we can do for them in the relationship, we need to evaluate the pain in a positive light. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for law number 7. Have a good night. Bye.